and now our Hangout is live on the air. So welcome everyone from our Tarleton Ook. We're glad to be back with you this evening for our last live broadcast. It's kind of bittersweet that this is going to be our last time to broadcast out to you guys. So I hope y'all enjoy it and get a lot out of it tonight. We have 4 or 5 of our team leads with us tonight, which is awesome. And I'll give them a chance to introduce themselves to y'all in just a minute. I would like to see if everyone can hear us on the back channel. So I can see and hear now from Aubrey, so that's great. And Luciana said it started, so I guess everything's good and everybody can hear us. So team leads, if y'all are ready, then I'll give y'all some time they're going to introduce themselves to y'all again and then just reflect on their experience in the course because I know they've had a good learning experience working with everyone and their teams. So Kyle, would you like to start us off?
Sure. I'm Kyle Esco. I'm the team lead for Team Connectors. I teach 7th grade English at Summer Creek Middle School and in Crowley ISD. This is my second time to take the class, so this has been a really rewarding opportunity. I feel like my first year I was just kind of all thrown at me. Some of you all mentioned how it kind of goes at the speed of sound. It's really, really quick, and so this year, gave me a better opportunity to, understand all of the resources and tools that we were talking about, and I kind of got a better idea of how I want to use them in my classroom. Team Connectors did a great job of giving resources, and so I want to give a shout out to them. Did an awesome job, and so I really learned a lot. It was a very rewarding experience.
Well, I know on the back channel we have some Go Connectors right now, so I know you did a great job. Tammy?
Hi, I'm Tammy Lifesti, and I'm the team lead for Team Creators, and you guys are awesome, and I've learned a lot from y'all, and it's been a great experience being on the team lead side and actually getting to see all of the information from everybody. And I'm working on grading, so it'll be done tonight.
Good deal. Dawn, want to say hello?
I'm Dawn, the team lead for the Collaborators, Go Collaborators. You guys did a wonderful job. I've learned so much from everyone, all the different applications and different tools that everybody had access to that they shared was just incredible. We're giving a little feedback about what we learned about teaching in this class, and I can tell you as a student, I was last minute, got everything in at midnight on Sunday, and I'm finding that there are so many people that are busy during the week, and that's happening now, and I'm looking at it from an instructor's point of view, and I'm so sorry to all my instructors because getting feedback and grades out are very difficult at that time, and so I really apologize to everybody. But we've had a great team, and we really connected. I felt connected to everybody, and everybody has just grown so much. So, very proud moment.
Great. Charity?
All right, hats off to Team Innovators. They did an amazing job. So impressed with all of them. It was exciting to see just their passion right off the bat for technology integration. It just, everything, all the conversations, everything felt comfortable. They did so much collaboration. I was just very, very proud of them. I really enjoyed the team lead experience. I just loved being there as an encourager to them. We bounced ideas off of one another, and I just loved being a support to help them work through and overcome, just obstacles that they may face with regard to integrating technology next year. So good luck to everybody on the team, and thank you for all of your hard work.
Awesome. I know that I have been bombarded with emails and notifications, so I know there is a ton of collaboration and communication going on out there. I know all the teams have done a wonderful job. Brianna, our last but not least.
Yay! All right, I am the team lead for Team Ignite, so excited for all of my amazing counterparts out there who have really kind of blown up and ignited their love for technology in this course. It's been awesome because we have a complete and total I guess a shift of who all is in our class. We have some people who are very unsure of technology and very new to this experience, and then we have some really advanced people, and just watching the inspiration kind of grow across the team has been really phenomenal. For me, watching it as a team lead, as well as just watching people just get excited and share their ideas and you know, kind of explore, and that's been fantastic. Team Ignite you guys came in running, and it's just been amazing to watch you guys kind of help each other along each way. So super proud of you guys, and I just can't thank enough. I mean, you guys have been wonderful.
I know I've always said that I usually learn more from my students than I think maybe they learn from me. But, you know, I guess that's somewhat of a bad thing, but a good thing. But, yeah, there's been so much communication and collaboration, and just being able to connect with all of the educators around Texas, around the globe. You're really learning so much, and everyone has just done a fabulous job. Team leads, I hope you're looking at today's meet, because y'all are getting a lot of shout outs, and your teams are thanking you and telling you what a great job you've done guiding them and helping them. So a round of applause to you all. I want to give one more shout out, and that is to Dr. Baker. Hopefully, I don't know if she's watching tonight or not, but she has done a phenomenal job designing the course, and so we hope that she is enjoying her family tonight. And a shout out to Charity, being a new aunt. So shout out to her as well. All right, so some of the questions that we had this past from week 4 really related back to that there's so many resources that we've been given throughout the semester, or the 4 weeks. And so how do you keep up with all those? And will you have access to the soft chalks after the course ends tomorrow? And the answer is that yes, you will have access to the soft chalks and access to all the resources, and that's through the resource cheat sheet that last week I sent out an email, so hopefully everyone got it, and if you didn't, go check your emails and let me know, and I can resend it to you. Also on Twitter, I tweeted it out, and I put it in your Google Plus communities. But I want to screen share just to show everyone kind of a walkthrough. And can everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay. So this is our resource cheat sheet, and down at the bottom, there's different pages. So on the apps page, there's a list of apps. There's a description of the app, the cost, and then anything else that someone might want to know about the app. And you have access, all the students from the course have access to actually edit this. So if you see something that's not listed on here, feel free to come in and add in your information. As well, on the next tab, there's websites and tools. And so we've been trying to list and keep up with as many as we can that we've seen out on the Google communities and the live broadcast and everything coming through. So again, those are linked here, a short description, and then anything else. But everyone has access to add to this resource cheat sheet. And then on the course content, there is links to the soft chalk lessons. And then there is a personal learning network, and it's awesome to look at this and see that there have been 34 people in the TOOC add their information. And so hopefully by putting in your information on the personal learning network, you can stay connected with everyone. So look for this resource on Twitter and in communities. and stay connected. Does anyone else have anything that y'all would like to add to that? Team leads? No? Okay, so we'll keep going. Our next question came from, let me get to it, Sarah Goen on the team for Knowledge Seekers. And she was asking if we could revisit what Brianna was talking about on a previous live broadcast, and that was how do you give younger students that are younger than 13 that Google email account and get them connected and using that. So I want to pass this over to Brianna and let her kind of expand on what she was talking about.
Okay, so basically what I was doing with my students was I would have some trouble with students who didn't have email access, and lots of the platforms that I wanted to use were driven off of having that email account. So what I would do is I would set up a Gmail for myself, and I just always used my Twitter handle. So I did like mrscoachhodges@gmail.com, and then for each, like the first time that I did this with Animoto, and so for each of my class periods, I would set up the account, but I would use the kind of the formula of Mrs. Coach Hodges +1@gmail.com for the account name, and then I would have their password be like Jacket1, so that way the +1 and the password corresponded with their period name. And then I would do the next thing for the second period, and then the next thing for the third period. So it would be like Mrs. Coach Hodges +2, Jackets 2, and then third period would be +3, Jackets 3. And so what this allowed to happen was the students to be able to utilize the platform without having to have a registered Gmail account. All of the activity that happened on that platform then came to me. It didn't matter. I didn't have a +1 account, +1, +2. It didn't matter if it was +65. All of those are filtered to your original account that's attached to. And so anything that happened through that account, I had record of, and all of that stuff. It was really great for grading purposes because I could look at my +1 account on Animoto, and all of my first period's products would be right there. And then I didn't have to like search through and try to figure out which student was doing what and all of that kind of stuff. Obviously made it very easy for my students to remember their passwords and all of that kind of stuff, because we just always had to say, well, what class period are you in? And then they were able to kind of pick up the formula. So just wanted to clarify, I wasn't actually setting up email accounts for them because I had students who were under the age of 13, and I didn't want to go through getting parent permissions and doing all that kind of stuff, but I still wanted them to have the experiences through creation tools, and this afforded me that opportunity to do that. So I hope that helps a little bit.
Thank you so much, Brianna. I know a lot of people, I think, were wanting more clarification, so hopefully that will help them out.
And it works for any platform that you have to register for the account with an email. So there you go.
Great, great. Any other team leads have anything you want to add in? Nope.
I was going to say that's a great idea because I like how it keeps it all organized with the class. That makes it a lot easier to grade, I bet.
Tremendous. The first time that the first time I did it, I was like, oh, I'll just use my email address. Oh. When you have 150 students, it becomes a nightmare to kind of like figure it all out and all that kind of stuff. So from the organization and grading side of it, so much better.
So when you enroll for the students to use that, you use your Gmail address plus one?
I have lots of personalities, and so I would create one for my classroom. So like I had Mrs. Coach Hodges. I'm that person that goes and like signs up for every email account that I could possibly ever think that I might need. So I had like Mrs. Coach Hodges ELA, Mrs. Coach Hodges English. I had all these different iterations so that whatever my students might need, I would be able to kind of type that in there. But I actually just made a new Gmail account and created that, and then that was where I knew to go to access their content and all that kind of stuff. So that has now changed because my district has gone to Google Apps for Education, so I don't have to worry about that part of it as much anymore, but it was pretty genius for when I was working on that side of it. But I will say, if you are a Google Apps for Education, this formula should work the same way if you wanted to do that. You could do the same thing.
Great.
So.
And how does that look year after year? Did you like create new Animoto accounts, or did you just keep the same ones?
So that's a great question. I would keep the same one, and then I would go in and kind of clean house. Like I'd purge my files at the end of the year. So I would keep all of them throughout the year, so I had reflection opportunity to see student growth and all of that. And then at the end of the year, I would go through and delete the ones that I needed. I could archive them by ripping them to YouTube or rip an MP4 or whatever I wanted to if I had like some really stellar pieces that I wanted to use, and then we would start from fresh with the next year on first period, second period, all of that stuff.
That's awesome. We had a question come in, and I'm not sure, it's Miss MCC 301. I'm not exactly sure who that is, but she asked, if a student already has their Gmail account, is it appropriate for them to use it? And if I was answering that, I would say you would have to know what your district policy is. Does your school let you use them, or have y'all encountered that at all out there in the field, team leads?
Well, I'll just real quick on mine, specifically with Animoto. I ran into this a lot where kids would just, I already have an account, so I just used mine. And because I use the educator account through Animoto, that affords me longer screen captures and video times, and I get more bells and whistles. And so I would let them know that if you use your own, you're only going to get 30 seconds, and it's going to have a watermark across it that it's not going to look very good. And so don't you want to have all the bells and whistles? That's why I want you to have what I have, and that would encourage them to go through it my way.
Great. Well, so I hope that answers gets everybody kind of on the same page out there. I'd like to go on and move on to the next question if team leads, y'all are ready to keep moving forward. So the next question came from Jesus from Team Creators, and he said, I'm still looking for suggestions or resources about effectively working with subject matter experts. And earlier, when we were kind of behind the scenes talking, the team leads just really took all the answers out of my mouth, so I want to pass it back out to them. Dawn, you had a really good one related talking about Google Community, so do you want to start?
Yes, I took a 6-hour-long training on Google Hangouts, Google Communities. It was through Simple K-12, and they had a lot of people who were willing to put themselves out there on Google Plus Community, and if you needed any kind of expert to come talk with your class, or to communicate with them in any way, shape, or form via Hangouts or Google Community, they were all available. So Google Community is going to be a really good resource to reach out to all of those experts.
Great.
Yeah.
Charity, you talked a little bit about Skype and some other resources. Do you want to follow her up?
Yeah, use the social media that you're most comfortable with. There's, obviously Twitter and LinkedIn and things like that. But also there's this website, it's called penguin.com, and they will connect you with, I know they connected me with an author, and he did a Skype with us, and it was a young author that he's got a published book, but he's just trying to get his feet wet, trying to get out there and So it was nice to have him Skype with us.
Great, great. And then Brianna, you mentioned another tool as well.
I actually saw it when you were screen sharing on your. When it's already listed on the resources, and I apologize because I'm actually not. I'm not endorsing this product, but it's just that all of my team was talking about it this last week, and they were talking about I apologize if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but Nepris, Nepris, as a great online collaboration kind of hookup, if you will, for content experts. So my science guys specifically were really, really excited about that, and kind of taking it by storm. That you could just type in whatever your content was that you were looking for, any of that, and then they were able to match you with some experts from there. So definitely worth checking out.
Great, and I'm glad to see that that is in the Google, in the cheat sheet. So that's awesome. Kyle, do you have any off the top of your head?
I mean, Skype for the classroom could be another one too.
And
Good
I
deal.
use Google Hangouts. At the end of the class, my students actually do an interview process with somebody from HR of Bell Helicopter, and they do one-on-one interviews via Google Hangouts with my students.
Awesome, awesome. And I know that Tammy had also mentioned, and I do this in some of my online classes, and that's using a discussion board to invite experts to come into my online classes and discuss with the students. So I think Tammy had mentioned that and actually sent that response straight to Jesus, but I still wanted to leave that out to everyone because you know, other people might have the same question. Moving on to the next question because we're getting kind of low on time. Brittany Cole from Creators asked, do you have any tips or ideas for first-time teachers trying to implement all these new ideas? So in these 4 weeks, you might have felt somewhat overwhelmed by all these resources. So are there any tips out there, team leads, that we can provide about taking it step by step and integrating and not getting overwhelmed with all the new technology tools?
Start with one and learn it really well, and then move on to something else once you learn one, how to work one really well.
Great.
Mm-hmm. I think it depends on what you want to do, you know, what the outcome is, and you want to think about which tool is going to have the biggest impact and focus on what you can do to use that tool, master it, and like Tammy said, master that and then move on to the next one.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's baby steps because you don't want to overwhelm yourself and then just feel like giving up. But I know for me, just from personal experience, it kind of was just gradual. Like it just started with kind of a mindset change on, whenever I went into planning a lesson or an activity, it was kind of like my first thought was, okay, how can I, what could I do to integrate some form of technology into this lesson, whether it be the students using it or me using it to present content. But everybody's at different comfort levels, so just set goals in the beginning that are realistic for you at the beginning of the year. Maybe start with 2 or 3 ideas or tools that really just jumped out at you during the course. But the summertime is the best time to just start thinking about how specifically you want to use them in the classroom, and maybe like what specific lessons, what do you envision it looking like, thinking about your learning objectives and things like that. Just use that time during the summer, and then practice using the tool. That way you're kind of an expert when you go into it, and you can answer questions that the students have. And then just, think about jot down your thoughts, how you might use it. And just remember that resource cheat sheet is amazing because there's just too much out there to remember. And I, even after 2 years of, when I took this course first time, I still go back to the cheat sheet, mainly for the Web 2.0 tools and the apps and stuff. But I do go back to those just to get a refresher every now and then.
Y'all are taking the words out of my mouth. I mean, I can't really restate anything. It's just Start out slow. Make sure you're comfortable with it. Have an open mind. Don't be afraid to fail. Trying new things and learning. You're going to make mistakes, but it's all about a learning process, right? So, Brianna, do you have any last words for this question?
I think the big thing is, for me, also try to put yourself in your students' eyes and, kind of look at this through their eyes. What's going to be the best use of technology for them, and what's their experience going to be? Because you guys right now are utilizing it as students, and you're getting to explore it, and you're kind of finding the stumbling blocks along the way for yourself. So use that when you're planning your lessons, so that way you can really, kind of start to troubleshoot and figure out what's going to be the best use of it. There's no one ring to control them all, and so you kind of have to make sure that you're picking things appropriately for what it is that you want to do, but don't be discouraged by it at all. All of us have had it work beautifully first period and then fail miserably second period, and all of us have had it go wonderfully in our practice and then it won't turn on at all, and it's blocked by the student logins whenever they get in there. So don't be frustrated. I mean, I've had that happen all the time, so don't be frustrated by it. And the last thing is just, the more opportunities that you have to grow your professional learning network, you're going to pick up all of these tricks and see how people are using it to teach adults, and then you can kind of take that in your own craft and make it your own and do all that kind of stuff. But just don't be afraid. You don't have to be an expert by any stretch of the imagination. Just jump in there, try it, and say, if some kid comes up and says, hey, I think it works better this way, then you're like, fantastic, please teach me. And your students feel awesome about themselves because they got to teach their teacher something, and you have total engagement because they want to show you what they know. So just jump in there and keep a smile on your face, and don't be afraid.
Yes. Always have a backup plan. We're getting some really good feedback as well from today's meet on the back channel. Tim said, don't be afraid to ask your technology department for help. That's why they're there. Janine Wolf said, go visit a school or a class that has integrated technology well and see how they do it. So learn from your peers. Use technology specialists. It's what they pay us to do. Let me see if I can. Okay, so Janine said that. Luciana said, start with a free LMS, and after you're comfortable with it, then add more. So start with one and then add. There's a Google's Roadshow. Put yourself in the mind of a student. Love that reference. Always have a backup plan. So yeah, we're getting some great feedback and answers from all you guys out there watching us. So thank you for helping us answer that question. One last question while we have just one more minute or two to go. This was actually a question that came from Brian from Team Ignite, and it was from week 3, but I wanted to revisit it because just like last week, we kind of rushed through it. But I want to throw this back out there and ask our team leads, what is your favorite content creation tool? Go.
Well, I will say I am loving on some Adobe Voice right now. If you have not used it, it's free. I believe it's only iPad. I don't think you can get it on. I know you can't get it on a computer or like a web-based, but it is iPad specific, and it is fantastic. I used it in my class for my kids to explain their Genius project proposals, so they get to go in and either use actual images or clip art, and then they record their voice, and it puts it together in this wonderful Steven Spielberg-esque video that you can then utilize however you want. But Adobe Voice, and then for us English teachers, because Kyle and I are always looking for fun things like that, Adobe Slate is pretty fantastic. So those are my favorites of the moment. But that could change tomorrow.
Thanks for sharing. Charity, do you have anything?
Yes. I really, really like ThingLink. I think I did see it on the resource cheat sheet, but it's if you haven't played around with it, you really need to check it out and see some examples that are online too. But you're able to take one image and you can fill it with links to various websites, music, video, other images that you find, text, anything that's relevant to the photo. I feel like it's a great presentation tool if students are like researching a certain topic or something. And then just an idea that how you could use it at the beginning of the school year is just a getting to know you activity. The kids can play around with using it, upload their picture, and then link other things to it to share interesting facts about them. So this would allow them to practice using it for later use on a project or something. Very user-friendly, it's engaging for the kids, and it's really easy to share out with the world. You can easily tweet it out or post it wherever you need to.
Of course, don't forget about Soft Chalk.
Yeah, Soft Chalk.
Great. Dawn, anything? Tammy, any last words?
I like Screencast-O-Matic, and it allows you to either use your webcam and just talk with the students. I've been using it for the Google Plus community when I give my video instructions for the week. And I also use it for instructions that also do a screen capture. So if somebody's not understanding on a paper, I can pull their paper up, I can mark on their paper, I can talk with them and give them a link. It also will say that as a YouTube, so it goes straight to my YouTube channel. But then it also allows the students to access the link, and they can hear my voice, they can see me, and they can see the paper that I'm working with. And it's just most people are visual, and so if they get to see that and they get to hear it, it connects a little bit better than if you're just writing it down in instructions in print.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we're just a few minutes over time, but I don't want to hold anybody too late because it's a work week, but I want to thank all the team leads again for sharing your knowledge with us tonight, and thank you for being such great team leads over the past 4 weeks. Thank you for watching and putting everything out on our back channel. Again, that resource sheet is provided to you so that you have access to everything and all the resources that were on Blackboard. So once the course ends, you'll still be able to access the Soft Chalks and all the tools that have been discussed. So with that, I guess we will turn off our live broadcast for the last time of the semester. And good luck to everyone. And yeah, any last shout outs to your teams?
Team Connectors.
Great job.
All right, so we will see everyone later. Thanks for joining.
Bye.